How to connect with nature in the winter. Connecting with nature is important, but how do we do it in the depths and the cold of winter? That's what we're talking about today. Welcome to the channel. I'm Kim Marie, and this channel is all about supporting women to step into their most empowered self so they can live their most fulfilling life. Connecting with nature in the winter is easier than you might think, yet we really struggle with it often because of the fact of longer nights, shorter days, the bitter cold in some areas, and of course the hustle and bustle of the holidays. But we're going to take some steps to look at how we can connect with nature in an easier way in the winter. We're going to explore ways of looking at winter differently so that we can connect to nature more in the winter. We're going to explore some activities that you can consider, and some of them might not be as typical as you might think about. And I have a very special tool for you that's going to make connecting in the winter with nature so much easier, so stay tuned. First of all, how we look at the winter is so important if we want to connect more with nature in the winter. We want to be willing to take a look at these wintry landscapes, to look for beauty all around us. I cannot tell you how many people I hear saying, oh, but it's ugly in the winter, it's dead in the winter, it's this, it's that. And there's no room for finding the magic and the beauty and the uniqueness of the winter season that is available to us. And we close ourselves up and we shut ourselves off from that. But when we're willing to look for the beauty and find the uniqueness and the specialness and look forward to it for its own reasons, then it's much easier to stop feeling like we can't connect with nature or we can't find joy in the winter. There's a special quality in the lighting that we might experience at this time of year. There is a lot of that quiet hush that we can experience if we're out in the snow and the snow is falling gently and there's a blanket of white on the ground. There are so many things that are special to that time of year that we really don't want to dismiss and that can truly help us connect with nature more easily in the winter. Now, I want to talk about some wonderful activities that can help us connect more with nature in the winter. We have the common activities that many talk about: snowshoeing, skiing, hiking or walking in the snow, that kind of thing. And absolutely, those are wonderful. In fact, I challenged myself to get proper gear. In other words, a nice warm parka and really great warm gloves and the proper warm boots to get myself out in the deep, deep cold, sub-zero temperatures sometimes, to go for a walk. There's a different quality in the air. There's a different quality in the experience. What makes it miserable is when we're not prepared for it. So yes, we want to get outdoors. We want to spend time outside and doing some of these fun activities. That is definitely true, and having the right gear will help you tremendously. Now, a few less common activities, some indoors, some outdoors, might be that you consider having a community fire. Can you set up a situation where there's a little bonfire pit and you can sit around, maybe bring some cozy blankets outside with some chairs that have the snow cleared off of them? Just because it's cold doesn't mean you can't sit outside and enjoy a cozy fire outdoors with the proper gear on. Now, another thing might be a beautiful spiral garden. This is often associated with the holiday festivities, and you can watch my video, Holistic Family Winter Holiday Ideas, which is just packed with some wonderful, it's holiday centered, but still a lot of things that you can consider for winter. And I give some examples of what a spiral garden is in there. It's this idea of setting up evergreens in a spiral and having a meditative moment of reflecting. Many people love to do this outdoors instead of creating a space indoors for this, all right? So that is another beautiful idea to honor nature and to be part of the connection to the season. Another thing that you can do is a lantern walk. The nights are so long and dark in the winter, and it can be really, really lovely to go outside in the deep of night and carry a lantern with you, even a candlelit lantern that is this soft, flickery glow that you can experience the surroundings, experience nature, listen for different sounds. That's such a beautiful way, again, with the proper gear and being warm and preparing for that. But so often we complain complain that we can't connect with nature as if nature doesn't exist in the wintertime. But it absolutely does. We're the ones that choose to block ourselves off from it, and we have so many opportunities to connect with it. Similarly, whether you carry a lantern or not, going for a walk in the snow is so magical. It's beautiful to be walking while the snow is falling gently, listening to that quiet hush of the insulation that the snow creates in the environment. Doing it in the daytime or at night can be such a magical thing. Another couple of things are stargazing, with the nights being as dark as they are and as long as they are. Often the nights are very crisp and cool, and we can see the stars so clearly. So that's a beautiful thing to do, as well as wildlife watching and tracking. Now, that segues into some of the indoor things that I want to mention, because we can watch wildlife both outdoors, looking for their tracks, looking at the birds that might remain during the winter season, or anything else that might be bustling around. But we can also do bird watching from inside our house. That's a beautiful way to connect with nature in the winter. If it really feels too cold to get outside, or maybe it's icy and you're not comfortable walking around with the ice, then set up a situation where you can sit at your window and look outside and be connected with it in that way. Maybe even connecting with the frosty bits that start to form on your window pane if that happens in the winter on an exceptionally cold day. Now, nature is filled with the elements of fire, water, earth, air, and ether. Ether kind of being this life force or spirit force. So we want to consider, how can we connect with those elements, with nature's elements from indoors if we can't get outdoors? Well, I love to have a fire going in the winter when it's really cold and enjoy the coziness of that. And I'll set up sometimes some aromatherapy in a little pot on top of the wood stove where it's just some water, and I drip in some wonderful essential oils like balsam fir, and I love the scent, and then it just makes me feel in some ways like I'm participating in walking in that forest or smelling the richness of the pine trees. These are things that we can do indoors just as well as being outdoors. Now, nothing beats being directly connected to and hugging a tree compared to smelling the scent of the balsam fir, for example. But that is just one example of ways that we can remember that nature is alive and well and really connecting us and helping to support us in so many ways if we're willing to try new things. We also might be interested in seasonal plants that, like a Christmas cactus, tends to bloom in the winter. So anything that allows you to see nature's life still unfolding. Or I love during the holidays to force bulbs and let them root and blossom into like an amaryllis or paper whites or something like that. That's a beautiful way to connect with and still witness nature's unfolding in front of you, even in the depths of winter. Now, another wonderful practice is journaling. Journaling, it may not seem like a connection to nature, but you might sit at your window and sketch what you see, or go outside and sketch what you see. You might choose to document some of the changes you notice in nature, but remember most of all that we as human beings are nature. We're not just a part of it, we are nature. So there are changes going on in you. And the cycle of the seasons demands a certain amount of turning inward in the winter. And so in order to connect with what that looks like in your nature, journaling is a really powerful way to see what that looks like. And with that, we can honor specific times. One of the most powerful times I have found to journal is during what I call the sacred nights of winter. And this is the time from roughly the winter solstice through early January. And this time is like a portal. Many indigenous and ancient tribes and wisdom would use this time as a way to connect more deeply with a sense of prophecy for the coming year, a sense of their dreams and communication from the underworld or the other world, as it would be called, and also connecting with themselves and really honoring this very slow time. And of course, we tend to be in the hustle and bustle of holiday time, but it doesn't have to be that way. This is such a powerful way of tuning in to journal during that time. And I have a very special tool for you to do just that. Every year I publish a Sacred Nights of Winter journal, and each year the theme is is different. When this video is being made, the theme for this coming year is living aligned with nature. So what a beautiful way to connect with nature in the winter. And you are going to love this journal. It will help you to connect not only with nature itself, but with you, which is the most important piece on our path to empowerment, so that you can tune into what you need most, how you're unfolding, what the year ahead might look like for yourself. I encourage you to honor the turning inward, reflect, renew, regenerate for yourself, and really understand that nature is not unavailable just because it's wintertime and the leaves have fallen and there's snow on the ground or whatever else. There is so much magic to be found. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this video with others you think might be interested. Be sure to order your Sacred Nights of Winter journal. The link is in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.